welcome in. I am going to be watching Bridgerton season 3. Just a little bit of background. I I haven't put up any videos of me watching the previous seasons, but maybe that'll come after this. My main point of creating this series is to, especially for season 3, to come from a perspective of a book reader. I did read this book. I read it once while I was waiting between season 2 and season 3 because I knew it was going to be the pollen season. And I was really excited to check out the books. So I read the books to kind of tide me over at the end of season 2. And then I read them again as soon as the first part came out. I have been waiting patiently. I am so excited to see what kind of insight I can bring to all of you. If you're a fellow book reader, please comment down below and let me know what you thought of this season. But I think let's get started. Out of the Shadows, Bridgerton, season 3, episode 1. Oh, look at Penelope. My goodness, I love her hair this season. Stop. Okay, and now we're switching back to her old outfits. So I'm a little confused on the timing of this. Her coming out of the carriage really seemed to be her new look, which as many book users or book watchers, readers, as many book readers know, she has an entire glow up because quite a bit of time has like gone by since we last saw her. So I'm going to take a pause right here and just pop down some things that I'm noticing. So as I said just now, this looks like it's her old outfits, more of her mother's style, what her mother has been providing for her at the modiste. And then her coming out of the carriage is very much her style. In the book, obviously, we start off with a passage describing the first time Penelope meets Colin, which I know they haven't toyed with, so I'm wondering if we're going to do any flashbacks this season. I didn't remember seeing any kind of casting information on like young Penelope or young Colin, but I mean, you can always age down characters and stuff like that with makeup and effects. Not sure if they're going to be doing that this season. Haven't seen any articles having to do with that. But from where Penelope is at the official start of her story, according to the books, she and Eloise are fit friends. They never had any kind of falling out having to do with Lady Whistledown. You know, obviously her secret identity for writing and expressing herself. At this point in her story, no one knows she's Lady Whistledown. So, for those of you who are show only, that's a little bit of insight there. But also, there's no kind of like pact going on between her and the modiste. At this point, Lady Whistledown, Penelope, how she basically gets her articles out are there's a church kind of deep into downtown, far away from the fashionable side, far away from the like appropriate side of town, that Penelope goes to in essentially a staff carriage. So she goes there, she has her articles, and she leaves the articles in the pews, which I'm hoping will come into play later because her drop-off point for her articles is an incredibly important turning point for her and her identity being found out. I don't want to dive into any book spoilers just yet, but Eloise is definitely not the first person who finds out that she is Lady Whistledown. Costume department absolutely lost their mind this season. They put in all of their best work. I'm really excited to see more of Penelope's transformation as well as Colin's transformation because they're both supposed to be so much older at this point. Colin, at this point in his story, we kind of played with it a little bit during last season between him and Miss Thompson, where he just feels like he has no direction in life. And that very closely ties into how he feels about Penelope, how he feels about his own family. Um, I know by this point there have been several marriages in the Bridgerton family. There have been several new children in the Bridgerton family. I know because of casting issues and time conflicts and things like that. Obviously, Francesca has been recast. And as far as I can tell, Anthony and Kate do not currently have children. I believe, if my memory serves me right, Anthony and Kate have two children at this point in the story at the introduction. Oh my gosh. What is Eloise wearing? Miss Hyacinth and Gregory looking so tall. Ooh. I have feelings about um, Violet Bridgerton. I'll get into that later, I'm sure. So I'll ooh, is this Colin? Okay, we're getting into Colin now. Um Anthony is I do enjoy Kate and Anthony's dynamic. I really enjoyed them last season. Last season, arguably my favorite season. Anthony is amazing. Kate is wonderful. One thing that I have noticed, because I've only read Penelope and Colin's book, but from my research and from what I've seen, it seems like the Netflix show has a tendency to toss in male competition, to kind of stir things up. I know that with Kate's sister, the prince being kind of like introduced towards the end there, where like, oh, you should meet my nephew, when the queen was talking to Kate's sister. Um, that really, as far as I can tell from the book readers for Anthony and Kate's book, that didn't really come into play, that competition. That kind of like added extra male character. Um, I've seen some questionable things, and I mean questionable in the best possible way, but I've seen some things about there being a secondary male love interest for Miss Penn. Um, that is not in the books. Um, but I'm excited to see Colin. I mean, at this point in the story, Colin, I believe, if memory serves me right, he has his own residence. He is no longer at Bridgerton House, mostly because Anthony is now the Viscount and it's his home. Um, but it looks like, where is he? Is he traveling again? Yes. Okay. It looks like he's getting off the ship. This is Colin. Don't even play. God, I love their house. I love a good brick house. Beautiful. Oh, I hope they figure out their friendship, because that was created purely for drama for the TV series. They're still besties at this point in the book. They glued those they glued those big fat sideburns onto him. It looks like he's trimmed down too. Oh, was that a look at Miss Penn? That was her quote from from one of the last seasons. I'm sharpening my knives. That's cute. Colin, does Anthony look shorter this season? Is it just me? It's okay, girly. She's got high standards this year. Oh, we've got some sign language thrown in. Okay. Colin in green. We had Penelope enter in green during that first scene. I see you. I'm going to take another pause here, specifically to talk about Francesca. So, they went a bit of out of order, as many of you book fans would know by this point. At this point in the story, when we start with Colin and Penelope, Francesca's already married. I'm going to keep that name to myself for now, as well as Benedict. Also going to keep that name to myself for now. So I find it interesting just because how they ended up laying out the different storylines. I'm assuming that the show writers, probably at the very beginning of this whole project from season one, likely laid out their timeline. The TV series likes to play with multiple storylines at once, so it seems like I'm going to take I'm going to take a guess here. So we have Francesca, who has yet to meet her husband, has yet to have any children, has yet to have anything like that, spoiler free, happen with her story, as well as Benedict. Benedict's story was completely skipped over. I'm assuming that they're going to lay the groundwork for Miss Francesca and her partner, as well as Benedict and his partner. As far as the casting list, I have seen Francesca's partner. They have been cast, they are listed. But Benedict's is not. There is, like I said, they introduce not their true matches. They introduce kind of a bit of competition. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Colin and Penelope at the head. Then there's also going to be some conflict between Penelope and Eloise with their whole friendship kind of completely dashed against the rocks as of last season. Which, like I said, did not happen in the books. But the fact that we have Colin, we have Penelope, we have Francesca, Francesca's partner, we have Benedict, his, first girlfriend partner-esque character. We have Cressida. We're going to be focusing on some of her story as well. She is a key point in this storyline, Cressida, because as we all know, Cressida is Miss Penn's big bully. I'm hoping they don't veer too far off the path because there's plenty of really good stuff there. I did like that. Violet seemed to completely misunderstand Eloise. Their relationship is not great. She just doesn't seem to see eye to eye with Eloise in particular. I do appreciate that Violet took the time to acknowledge the fact that Francesca is different, acknowledge the fact that Daphne was perfect in her season. Are we interested in Francesca here? Are they going to throw her as the diamond? Oh, look at her. She's perfect. Stop. Stop him. Oh, Jesus. Oh, dang. The older sister got married off camera? I think I saw Lady Danbury in the last shot wearing all white. Are we going to revolt against the queen this season? Somebody stop him. Just spray him with some water. This friendship is revolting. Perhaps they're going to humanize Cressida this season with this friendship. She seems like a good mix between Daphne in terms of poise and Eloise in terms of her just wanting to do her own thing. Oh, I hope Kate is with child. Let's get those little Bridgertons going. She looks pregnant. Is it just the draping of the fabric or... I knew it. I saw her on the corner in that entry. Come on, Kate, give me that announcement. Stop. Alarm bells are going in their mom's head. Somebody get these ladies a chaperone. And a spray bottle. See, I'm having trouble digesting this part of his personality that they're showing. As far as the books, his book in particular with Penelope, he wasn't a flirt or rakish in any kind of way. He was just sucked up in his travels, sucked up in his writing, and just feeling very lost because at this point, Anthony is Viscount. So Anthony has found his purpose. He's married. He has children. And Benedict has his artistic pursuits. I believe they claimed that he has artwork in pretty prestigious places for showings and things like that. Daphne has taken to being a duchess very well. Daphne and Simon are just perfectly melded. They have their own children. So by the time Colin enters the story, he has a lot of self-doubt, and I'm not quite understanding how Colin's self-doubt is translating into him being, I wouldn't even say rakish. I would just say heavy on flirting. Stop. The tact in this family. Penelope's sisters, in fact, they did marry quite well. Men without title, that's not right. Um, yeah, they married quite well. He's so handsome, I can't. Poor guy. I want some growth from you, ma'am. I really do. Because you are yucky mommy dearest. I'm thinking about an article, girl. Let those words churn in your head. Let's go. Love, love pen. Let's go. We writing? Oh, we're looking at close. We're gonna get a makeover now? Hell yeah. Is her maid reading Lady Whistledown in the back? Look at him having fun again. He was so full of responsibility and stress. Girl, I can read 4 things at once. It's confusing, but I'll do it. Ooh. You're a big faker. Clear it up. Clear up this nonsense right away, please. Fix them. This just gives me hives. The frick is a tipple? I'm sorry. A tipple. To drink alcohol, especially habitually, those who liked to tipple and gamble. Got it. Learning. See the look in his eye. It's all about purpose for Colin. Who? Okay, so we now also have the Mondriches thrown into the storylines. What's going on here? Ooh, are we coming up in money? Oh, holy cow. I've always liked them. Newton, what a good boy. Oh my. Okay. Are we gonna get some things that are not fit for the YouTube? Yep. All right. Play by play. They are having some bedtime fun together. Gosh, they're wonderful. Sorry, headphone users. All right, so it seemed like it stopped the recording right after I took a pause to shove a ton of potato chips in my mouth, which is why I'm wearing a different shirt. Okay, let's keep it going from here then. Technical difficulties. This is the first time I've done this type of formatted video in a really, really long time, so bear with me. I know that there were some video issues in the beginning as I was reviewing back with some stuttering, but until I figure out why that happened, we're just going to keep pushing on. Okay, so we're going to continue from here, which is right after Anthony and Kate's little scene. Looks like we are at the first official ball of the season, the Four Seasons. I believe that was hosted by, who was that hosted by? I know y'all can't hear the music in this recording, but oh my God. I love it as always. I'm so excited to see more of Lady Danbury. She has a pivotal role in this book. Oh my god, the makeup already and the hair. Gorgeous. Wow. Oh my goodness, she looks like a beautiful peacock. Mr. Finch! Oh, he loves his sister-in-law. That's so cute. His big beaming smile. Look at him. That's right, girl. Own that confidence. You got this. Ooh, even Colin. I mean, of course, she's gorgeous. Who wouldn't stop to look? You got a bit of interest already, Pen. Let's go. Let's roll with it. Ooh, two more. We got three. We got three looking at Pen. Nobody panic. It's okay. Recover. Recover. Oof. Oh no. Save her. So many opportunities to fix this. Please. Cressida, you keep your eyes to yourself. Ooh. Yeah, you shouldn't be friends with them. It's not their fault. I'm glad they fixed that continuity. Thank you, Lady Danbury. Brimsley. Oh my god, this is making me so sweaty. Poor Francesca. Just watching her, clearly just not want to do this in her own way, very separate from how Eloise didn't want to do this. Good growth for Anthony. Look at him. He was so up Daphne's butt during her season out. Are they going to be friends now? Oh, I hope so. Maybe that's why they separated Eloise. Oh, I so hope that they become friends somehow. What about her dance card? You gotta fill things in, bro. She looks uncomfortable in such a graceful way. When we were seeing Eloise last season dancing with that one gentleman, when he wanted to put alcohol in the punch, she was very, very uncomfortable in a very noticeable way. But she's so graceful about being a ho-ho, no. Ah! We have another entry. He seems kind. Debling, there we go. Sir. Oh, I see the Muppet in the background. Cressida. Those sleeves. Eloise! I'm so angry. Eloise, please, something. Oh, it's too late now. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm with Pen on that. Nope. Oh, girl, you looked great. Don't worry about it. You're not going to get it on the first try. It's okay. Tell him. Tell him. Yeah, you have 2 brain cells, my guy. Yes! Yes! You got big dum-dum brain. Let's go, girl. You write it out. You do your therapy. You do whatever you have to. What we got here? Okay, we're writing about the queen. Wouldn't have suggested that. Oh, and Colin. I hope you check that in the morning when you're feeling less mad. You didn't have to say that. Portia. Ah! The Featheringtons are going to have some sort of conflict with the finances, the bookkeeping. Thank you, Eloise, for saying something now, supposedly an entire day later. Oh, don't give me that face. I both want her to have some sort of growth, and also I'm stuck thinking she doesn't deserve it. Incorrect. Because you were mean to her friend. Her outfit. Are our hands swelling up because we're pregnant? Please. Please. Yeah. Oh no, please don't leave. Oh, I love them so much. I would hate to not see them for the rest of the season. I would assume if they would leave, they would be coming back with good news of expanding their family, but I don't want to see them leave already. Anthony! Hey! Those are probably important. I'm hoping that Violet understands Francesca a little bit more clearly, that not all of her children are Daphne. She's panicking. She's being practical. Eloise, please. Excuse me? I'm sweating. Use your big head. No. Colin, you have to understand that this is an unfair pairing. Come on, get that zap as soon as you touch her. I don't need her to be flustered. She's been flustered this whole time. I need him to be flustered. Please, fluster. She's fine. Okay? Yes? And he's confused. Let's go. She's in green again. I don't know why I didn't notice. Oh, her article. I thought they were like, that's actually her right there, sitting Penelope. Oh, okay. Is that your new house? Oh my god, the kids are so cute. Another brick house. That's beautiful. Look at the colors. It's very vault dweller with the yellow and blue. That exchange, that little exchange, I loved that. She just doesn't want him to be hurt, that's all. She doesn't hate Pen. There's no way. Oh, I made mention earlier that it's not quite in his character to be flirtish or, or flirtatious or rakish. But there was a portion of the book where Colin felt very much under a magnifying glass on what he had read with Lady Whistledown. How Penelope had essentially phrased it in her writing was that, he's very charming, this, that. And he was always so upset with how she portrayed him because it made him feel like he had no substance. It made him feel like, again, the theme of purpose for him, where he felt like, I'd rather be written about for, traveling all over the world and doing that kind of stuff. Like, that stuff never bothered him. It was really just the things that made him feel less complicated, more simple. They took kind of his insecurities in reading that because I mean look at him, he's upset, but they changed what bothered him about it because she phrased it a different way. She phrased it as if he was play pretending. Don't even put that in his brain to think about it. I like that. That was an abnormally long pause at the end there. Okay. That was fantastic. Okay, how to digest any of this and break it down. So I had feared originally that they were going to veer too far from the source material, which in that last scene between Colin and Penn, him talking about giving her charm lessons and helping her find a husband, none of that was in the books. By the time we get into Penelope and Colin and what they're up to in their lives, Penelope is very much a spinster. She's very much settled. She's been doing Lady Whistledown for a really long time. She's not in any way aggressive about finding a husband. So the whole trope, which is a very TV movie trope of nervous, anxious girl gets helped by charming guy to come out of her shell to find someone, then guy gets jealous because she finds someone or he notices something in her that has changed. It's very tropish. Which I understand that they definitely play with tropes with the book series, not just this one, but the other ones that I haven't read. I've heard people make comments about, especially in Benedict's um, season, that his love interest is very Cinderella kind of. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very similar to the Cinderella at the ball, guy not recognizing her kind of thing. And then they kind of end up with each other, and there's a lot of tropes at play there. Um, I okay. So how many different storylines do we have active right now? So we have the main one, which is Colin and Penelope, which they are handling both similar to the book and not at the same time. We have the conflict between Penelope and Eloise. Eloise's friendship with Cressida, which honestly, if they're toying with the idea of removing Eloise from Penelope's like friendship storyline so the viewer can keep a closer eye on Cressida, that makes sense to me. I'm fine with that. In fact, when things start to go down with Cressida, which I'm assuming they're still going to play that part because she's clearly on screen and she's had her own moments, I'm hoping that they take that pairing and allow Eloise to kind of be almost uh, a watcher on the sidelines to maybe de-escalate what's going to happen with Cressida and Penelope, where Eloise can have her quick turnaround when she is just right in the face of battle between the two of them. Who else do we have? We have Anthony and Kate, who may be exiting the season, at least for now. We'll see better in episode 2. If they come back, if they don't come back. And I'm assuming if they don't, they'll come back to be like, hey, we're pregnant, make that announcement and come back in for that. We have, excuse me, we have Francesca, and she's very closely tied to Violet because Violet's keeping an eye on her. She's out in society now, so she is Violet's responsibility. We have the Mondriches, who just came into quite a bit of wealth. We have the Featheringtons, specifically Portia and Varley, who are dealing with the consequences of their actions at the end of the last season. For Portia, the poor thing, she doesn't, like, she's an intelligent character, but she's not quite there yet to have foreseen this. Varley tried to warn her, this is a very convenient solution. People are going to question it. Portia's like, no, don't worry about it. And now we have something to worry about. We also have these sisters who are drawn into that conflict because they need an heir. They need someone to pass something along to. And even if they are able to come forward with pregnancies or anything like that, there's still a chance that the document could be found as forged. So I'm wondering how they're going to handle that. I have ideas, but I don't want to voice them quite yet. Am I missing anyone? I guess Benedict, it's only partially been, like, he's dipped his toe into the storyline for now. We'll see more with him perhaps later. We have the Queen. I want to see more of Lady Danbury. I absolutely adored her character in Penelope and Colin's book. She was a very pivotal character. She was a big cheerleader, a big supporter of Penelope just as an individual. Also, Lady Danbury is incredibly smart, so she plays a huge role in the Lady Whistledown side of things for the books. So I'm hoping that they give her screen time and they find time for all of these beautiful characters and beautiful stories. I am going to make a prediction specifically having to do with Francesca. I know that her partner has been cast. I don't know how far they're going to go with it, though. I would assume that they're just setting up the building blocks and the foundation for that, and perhaps they'll kind of dig deeper into it in maybe next season, because I'm assuming they're going to do Benedict next season. And because the show likes to throw a lot of different storylines into the pot at the same time, I'm assuming that Francesca's continued story is going to be dipped into that when we get into Benedict. Am I missing anyone? I feel like I'm missing someone. I think I'm enjoying it. I think that as a book reader, I definitely have a lot of notes, a lot of things to say about things so far, but it's just episode one, so I want to give myself some time to kind of just soak it in. Um, the sets are beautiful as always. I feel like the production value has like completely skyrocketed this season. Everything looks absolutely gorgeous. The camera work, the hair, the makeup, the costumes. I think they're nailing that. I'm very interested to see how things can change because if you're a big book fan, whether it's this book or another book, and you see adaptations, things do change to better suit the medium. And I feel so far that the things that have shifted in the medium, I'm fond of, with the exception of Colin doing these little, saying he's going to do lessons with Penelope and help her find a husband. I didn't think that was strictly necessary. Um, I want to see where they go with it though, because I feel like it could go very well. I trust the script writers, and we'll just kind of see how it plays out. But there are so many moving parts this season. There's so many extra characters, so many different storylines to kind of just like tease out and elaborate on. I'm I'm anxious to get to episode 2. I'm glad that I don't have to wait after I finish episode 4 to get on with it. Everything's out now. Um, and honestly, like while I've been waiting to try and record this, I've been considering a third read through of the book. I do have some notes that have been sitting on my phone this entire time. Okay, so some details to go through. Some things that were covered in the book that I know that they're not going to be covering in the show, just by what we've seen and based on the cast list. Um, so Penelope has a younger sister named Felicity. She seems to be book only. Her two older sisters married wealthy in the book. They also have an uncle, Jeffrey. In the books, Colin is 33 at the start. Penelope is 28 by my math. So the scene where Colin comes out and he's talking to Penelope about the fact, and then Penelope, she confronts him about what he said last season at her mom's ball, the one where Jack got completely kicked out of the family, go away, we're taking the money, get out of here. What happened in the books that was different from what happened during that season, that scene where Penelope overheard Colin talking about never courting her. So it says when Colin spoke about, it says, my notes, says when Colin spoke about never courting Penelope, she was caught listening and Anthony tried to smooth things over. So in that scene, I believe it was Anthony Benedict and maybe Gregory. I don't remember if he was there, but I remember when Penelope overheard, she stood up for herself. She came forward and she was like, well, maybe I don't want to be seen courting you either. And then she stormed out. Anthony went after her and made sure she got home okay. And he kind of like smoothed things over a little. So missing kids. Benedict has 3 sons by this point. He is unmarried in the show. Anthony has 2 sons. They currently have none. Francesca is married by the start of the book, and then there are some other notes in here that I can't even bring up because they are major spoilers, that I believe that they're going to cover either this season or this season and next season. But so far, I mean, it's not too far off the mark to the point where I'm disappointed. I definitely need to see more before I make a final call on how I feel about how they handled the story overall. But so far, so good. This has been Out of the Shadows, Episode 1, Season 3, the Pollen season. I will get to filming Episode 2 as soon as possible. Hopefully, I will have the little visual glitches all sorted out by then. But if not, thank you for bearing with me. There were some moments here where the video and the recording were not super great, but at least the audio sounds nice and you can hear my beautiful voice. So thank you so much for checking in with me. Like I said, if there are any fellow book readers out there who are checking this out, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the series. Try and avoid spoilers because I'm going to get into it anyway. And also just be mindful that not everyone has read the books, and perhaps maybe that's why some of you are here. So Thanks so much for sitting with me for episode 1. We will be back for episode 2 as soon as possible, and I'm hoping to get the full unedited version up on my Patreon. I will get the links down below, but welcome to my channel, and hope to see you again. Bye.